So sorry, I think I don't know, some connectivity issues there with my network today. So let us start what I was discussing. Like there were like five principles which we have to keep in mind before starting animation. So first would be stretch and sketch. Okay. And the second, anticipation, staging, straight ahead action and pose to pose, follow through and overlapping action, slowing and slow up, arc, second reaction, timing, spacing, exaggeration, solid drawing, and appeal. So let's go through one by one with these principles actually. So what is a stretch and sketch, by the way? Stretch and sketch is what gives a flexibility to the object actually. Basically, when you animate something, uh, uh, at some point of time, it stretches, it sketches based on the based on timing, based on the animation, it stretches and sketches. That is called stretch and sketch. Let you give me an example actually. Let us take one ball. When you take a ball, when you throw it, uh, I mean to the ground, at some point it sketches. Okay, there what we call it as is squashing. The ball is squashing. At I mean in some point of time it is getting stretched somewhere here. Okay, if you can see my screen. So these are the principle. Otherwise, if stretching and squashing is not there in the principle, suppose this whole circle ball, rounded ball, it is going to and touch the ground, it will be like this only, the whole circle. It won't be, I mean, a realistic kind of thing. It won't look natural. So if it bends and stretch, it will look, then movement will look natural. So that is one of the principles, stretch and sketch. Let's take another example. It happens with any kind of object, body, human body, or whatever you are going to animate. It happens with anything. You see this person, it is stretching, and when he is bending his head, you see the head, circular head, gets stretched like this. Okay, it is bending. So this bending is called squash. And you see here the person, his head is stretching. So that is one of the principle for this one. The second one is anticipation. What anticipation is? Anticipation is basically an action which you can use before your main action. Okay, what did I mean this? I mean, what I mean about this. Okay, suppose this person is there, he has to grow, he has to go from this point to this point. Okay, and before he jumps, he has to jump actually from this point to this point. Before he jumps, he anticipate his action. He take back his arms, bend his legs little bit. This action is called anticipation. He anticipates before he jumps. That is called anticipation. Not about this person. Let's take another example. Suppose one character is there. He has to grab this glass. Okay, so what he'll do, he'll just take up his arms like this in a funny way, and also the hand, and then grab the glass. Okay, so he can directly take the glass from first point to fourth point, right? But no, he's anticipating. He's anticipating his arm little bit, I mean, towards back, and the hand also, and then taking the glass. These actions are called anticipation. He's anticipating first and then acting. So let us go to the third principle. Third principle is called staging. Staging is basically how you I mean distribute the components. How do you distribute the assets in the stage? Like where the character should be, where the TV should be, where the face should be, how you distribute the objects on the screen. Staging is basically that thing. You see how this staging is done. He has kept this sofa on the left hand side. On the top of it, character is there, he is watching on the right, TV on the right hand side. So staging is properly done over here. Okay, we can see the character also and the back part of the TV, so that we can see easily that person is watching TV. So that is called staging. Something is done properly on the frame is called staging. Okay. So on the next one is straight head action and pose to pose action. So what is stage? This principle means, it means that you are, it means that, so there are two kinds of animation basically, straight head and pose to pose. Basically what we do in pose to pose, we decide, I mean we already decide that this will be the first pose, this will be the last pose. But in straight ahead, what is happening here, we manually draw first pose. If you draw, then we'll draw the second pose, then we'll draw the third pose, fourth pose, and so on. This is how we do the straight ahead, I mean animation. Basically we don't exactly decide the next pose in straight, I mean this one, straight ahead, it goes on automatically. But in the pose to pose, what we do first pose, okay, and the last pose first, and the middle pose, and then filling the in betweens. Like I'll show you an example. So this is basically the upper example. If you see this one, this upper example, this I'll give, I mean this is a pose to pose. First we are drawing this one first pose, and the last pose, what will be the in between? This is the in between for this one. Okay, then we are filling the in betweens. Okay, how we are going with the straight ahead, this one principle. First we are drawing with this one, then second this one, third this one, fourth this one, and so on. This is how we drawing the straight ahead, I mean this one animation. Okay, so hope you understood this one. In pose to pose, again I'm saying, in pose to pose we pre-decide the positions of the character, actions of the character, first position, last position, and the middle position. Okay, then after that we'll fill the in betweens. And straight ahead, we are drawing manually from the beginning, like 1 2 3 4 5 6, like that we are, I'm working in straight ahead. So the fifth one is follow through and overlapping. What follow through is? Basically follow through, the follow through is an action which follows the main action. For example, suppose this squirrel is there. Okay, you see, it has to go, this squirrel has to go from this point to this point. Okay, so what this squirrel is doing, she is jumping from here to here. Okay, along with this squirrel, I mean its tail is also moving. Okay, you see the movement of the tail. Okay, that is called follow through. So not in case of squirrel only. If you take an example of two characters talking to each other. Okay, and you have seen in movies also, in a lot of animation movies, you can see characters here are also moving along with that, clothes are also moving with that. So those are called follow through, I mean actions. Okay, which is happening with the main animations. So that is follow through. Slow in, slow out. So slow in, slow out, basically I mean main this one part of the animation which we use in our day-to-day animations. I mean whether it is motion graphics, infographics, or character type of animation, we use mostly this kind of principle. Okay, so this is, suppose I'll just give an example. I have taken one pendulum over here. Okay, and pendulum has to go from this place to this place. Okay, how the pendulum is going to start? It is going to start slowly. The more the number of frames are there, these are frames. These are mainly distributed as frame. Then you see the number of circles are there now, these are frames. Okay, so more the number of circles, okay, that means the animation is slow. The less the number of circles in the middle, that means the animation is fast here. more the number of circles, again it is getting slow. So what it means, this pendulum is getting started slowly, then it is gradually increasing speed, increasing its speed over here. Okay, then again it is stopping slowly. So that is called slow in and slow out. If you if you make this pendulum consistent overall, I mean throughout the this one animation, it won't look realistic. So there, that slow in exists, slow in slow out exists. Here it is, oh, slow out, slow in, slow out, slow in. So here this is happening over here. So let's take another example. Suppose a car, let's take example of car. A car has to start from one point to another. Okay, so gradually that car increases its speed, then at some point it will be the fastest, and when it stops at some point, it will slowly increase the speed. Okay, so that is called slow in and slow out. Okay, so the next one is arc. So basically what arc is, when you animate something, when you animate object, characters, basically it is used for, mostly it is used for this one, characters. So let's take in one example what arc is there. Suppose this is one character, and he has to turn from this position. Now the character is watching to, I mean towards this position. Okay, now he has to watch to this position. How he is coming from this position to this position? He's, I mean slowly coming down, which is front pose. Okay, and then moving towards right. So that this arc is there now, it will look realistic. If you see in the animations, it will look very realistic. So then that's what it is called arc actually. And not in case of moving a head only. When you talk to someone, you use your arm basically. Okay, you have, I mean in real life also you give the arcs. While throwing a ball also you give the arcs. Any kind of example if you take, so arc will be there only. So that is also one of the principle. Okay, so the next one is secondary action. I'll tell you what secondary action is. So suppose this person is walking from this position to this position. Okay, so he can simply walk, like we can show only this person is walking with the help of two legs. Okay, he's walking because I suppose someone tell me to create a walk cycle. I'll just walk this character from one place to another. Okay, but I can give more actions to this character, like hair movements also, which is follow through action. Okay, but I'll tell you the difference between this one, follow through, and this secondary later also. But I can give extra movements to this character, like he's walking from this point to this point, but I can give moments to his arm, that he's scratching his forehead, okay, in between the walk. So those actions which is not mandatory, which is not mandatory, but still we are putting those actions to look that animation more dramatic. Those actions are called secondary actions. See, this arm is there, I'm adding this. I was told to create only walk cycle for this man. Okay, I have created from this point to this point. It is, I mean, this person is going. Okay, but I'm adding also that this man is scratching his forehead also from this point to this. I mean, while he's walking. So that is the extra action I have added. So those actions are called secondary actions. Okay. So the next one is timing and spacing. So basically what timing is, timing is basically how much time you give for one animation. Suppose if you are talking to a person and using your hand, okay, and you are moving your hand also while talking, right? You are giving, I mean, some amount of time to your arm also to move, to explain that person what you are going to say, right? So that timing of your arm and how much in how much space you are taking in between, okay, that movement of your arm, that is called timing and spacing, which is very important for, I mean, principle in our, I mean, this day-to-day life actually. Let's take example of this ball only. Suppose this ball has to go from this point to this point, okay, and how we do this one, we have to see this is slow out, okay, this ball is here, it's very slow because we are using multiple frames over here, okay, then it is fasting is speed, okay, here it is very fast. So this space between frames, between two frames, whatever space is there, okay, that is called spacing, okay, and the time it is taking from one frame to 24, one frame to this frame, it is called timing. So that is the time. When you do it experimentally, you will get to know more about timing and spacing, how you use it, how you, I mean, you'll be very clear about timing and spacing. Okay. So the next one is exaggeration. Exaggeration is very important in character animation. If you, when you start creating characters also, so you have seen that characters are, I mean, well exaggerated, okay, you have seen in natural life it is, I mean, humanly not possible to exaggerate your mouth that much, okay, so exaggeration is this only, okay, so it is happening in, have you seen Tom and Jerry also? Have you seen Tom? Sometimes Tom is, the Tom's body is breaking like a glass. Have you seen it? So that is also called exaggeration because it is not possible in our day-to-day life. You see this person is also there, he's exaggerating his mouth this much, which is humanly not possible, but we are exaggerating his mouth to make it, I mean, feel like, I mean, to give more, I mean, feel to this animation actually. So I mean, it's not like we only use this exaggeration, we use this exaggeration to objects also. So exaggeration is also a main principle for mainly for characters. The the next one is solid drawings. Okay, so solid drawings are basically step by step drawings actually. First we animate the characters, I mean, roughly first we draw the poses of characters, okay, then we give the outline of proper outline of characters and all, then we make the faces when here and all those, so those are called solid drawings. The last one is appeal. So what appealing is, I mean, most important also in character design, okay, so when you create a character, it has to be appealing to the audience, okay, first you should know what audience is demanding, what kind of audience you are having actually. First know the audience perspective, then draw the characters according to the audience, okay, what they are going to see, okay, how appealing you are creating that character. Have you seen that if you have seen so many cartoon movies, let's take an example of Kung Fu Panda. If you have seen that bulky, chubby, very cutely, I mean, someone has created that character. If you have seen Hotel Transylvania, that villain character is also there. That is villain character, but we like but we like him as a character because it is very appealing, okay, it is appealing to the audience also. If you see some cute characters also, those characters are also appealing because they have created that way only. So if it is like villain also, if it is villain also, it has to be appealing to the audience, okay, so that is one of the principle. Let's give an example. Suppose this chef is there, or waiter is there, okay, he's, it looks like very appealing to me, because it is well properly planned, and the position gesture of this one, nose, mouth and all, it is very appealing to the audience. For this character, if you see this cowboy type, he's also appealing. This villain is there, it looks like very appealing to me. So the character which audience like, okay, we can call it as a appealing. So yeah, those are the 12 principles which are very important, which are very useful to, I mean, okay. So this is basically an animate, which I mean is very useful for character animation. I'll just give you the overview of this animate using it for layering purpose. If you can see, this timeline is written over here. So here we can create layers and all those number of layers, how many layers you want to create, you can create it here. Okay, so these are the layer timeline. So this is called your main screen, where main actions are happening. Okay, within this screen you are going to see your characters, objects, whatever backgrounds you're using it. Okay, so this is what we call display. Okay, here the toolbar is there. From this toolbar you can take any box, and you can create any box. You can change the color of this box. Okay, by clicking here you can change the color of this one. So these are your toolboxes. Okay, these are your layer structure. This is your display one. These are your properties. Okay, here your properties will be there. Your library. Okay. So here by using these properties, you can change the frame rate. You can change the width, height. Okay. Advanced settings also you can do. You can change the dimensions to inches, points, centimeters, millimeters. So those usually we use pixels for this. So right now I have used 550 by 400. So I can, let's say I'll make it to half HD, 1280 by 720. Okay, you see the dimension is changed here. Okay, so this is how, I mean, it works. So let me give you just, I mean, Animate is basically used for animation purpose, creating illustrations also. Animation is a vector software. Okay, so I'll tell you the difference between vector and raster. Okay, so one more software is there called Adobe Photoshop. Okay, when we create something inside Photoshop, it is a raster image. We can't create vector objects in Photoshop. First of all, we can only create vector objects in uh, Adobe software like Illustrator, Animate. Okay, so what do you mean by vector and raster? Okay, so suppose this box is there. I'll just decrease the size of this box. Okay, I made it like this. When I zoom into this box, okay, it will not get pixelated. You see, when I zoom in, if I zoom in this much, this is a full zoom in, okay, but still it's not getting pixelated. So those images which are not getting pixelated are called vector images. Okay. I mean, how much you zoom in, that is up to you. If it is not going to pixelate, that means that image is called vector images. So in this software, vector images are, I mean, we can create vector images. Okay. So hope you, and for the raster one, what is raster image? I can give you an example for raster image also. If you can copy paste any image from Google, if you place it here, let me just download one image, 1 second. Okay, I have taken one image from this one. I'll just place it there. Okay, and show you how it works. So this is the image I have taken from Google. Okay, pineapple image. Okay, this image. If you see, if I zoom in, if I increase the size of this one, if I increase the size of this image, it will get pixelated. You see, the image is getting blurry. Okay, so that thing is called raster images. These images are called raster images. So hope it is clear for you, raster and vector. Okay, when you go somewhere also, I mean, person who is taking your interview is also, they might ask you the difference between vector and raster images. So just keep those things in mind. Images, those images who, I mean, who are not who can't be pixelated. I mean how much you zoom in, those images are not. Those images are vector images. The images which are getting pixelated after a small amount of zoom in, those are like raster images. And in Photoshop, you can only create raster images. You can't create vector images. But in Animate, you can create vector images, and Illustrator, you can create vector images. Okay. So I'll just give you a small demo on this. Let us take one circle. Okay. I'll just delete the outer line. Okay. This is a simple shape I am taking here. Okay. In one layer two. Okay. So three types of symbols are there in this. Okay. We usually work around those symbols only in Flash, in Animate. Other name is for Animate, the other name is Flash only. So this image, if we press, by selecting this image, if we press F9, okay, sorry, F8, by selecting this, if we press F8, a dialog box will appear. Here three symbols are there. Okay, you can give a name to this image, any name, but three things are, I mean, visible here: movie click, button, and graphic. So what is movie click? By the way, three things are there. I'll just give one example. I'll just create this. Okay, I'll just convert this into graphic. The second one, I'll convert it into movie clip. The third one, I will convert this into button. Okay. So you see all the symbols. How you can check it? If you can select this here in properties section, you see this is graphic. This one is movie clip. This one is button. Okay. So what is the difference in those three symbols which you are going to work around? Okay. In graphic, we mostly use graphics, but in graphics, we can't give effects to graphics. Effects like, suppose for this movie clip, we can give this glow. I will increase this one. If you can see here, this glow effect is there. These effects I'm talking about. These effects we can only give to movie clip object, movie clip symbol. Okay. But if you see, if I select this graphic, there is no option coming for blur, drop shadow, glow. Okay. So for this, if I am selecting this, if we can see, we can add many more. We can add drop shadow also. If you can see, this is drop shadow. So that is the difference between graphic and movie clip. Okay. So if you can ask, what is this button function? So let me tell you where button works actually. If you have seen the websites and all, where if you, when you hover the cursor, I mean, on any button, it will change the color. Okay. it will change the color. How it is changing the color, I'll tell you. Okay, I went inside this button by double clicking it. Okay, when I select this, I can go inside this also, but here inside it is shaped. Okay, I'm going outside to first scene. Okay, now I'm selecting this button option. I'm going inside. Okay, here you can see four options: up, over, down, hit. Okay, for this button, for any kind of button, you will get these four kind of options. Here, what you can do, you give F6 is a short key for new keyframe. Okay. Here I have given like F6 for hover button. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll just change hover to little small size, this one. Okay. And again, I'll give next frame to this down button. Here I'll just change little bit bigger. I'll just down. I'll make it in hover. I'll just change the color also. Okay, I'll just make it as a light blue. Okay, down. In down, I'll just make it smaller. Okay, I'll just give one more keyframe here. I'll give different color to this one. Okay, so what you will see here it is not visible. When you click, when you play this one, you will see when I'm clicking on this button, you see this thing is coming. This button is, you can see this button is working. But when I'm moving my cursor around this graphic and this one, it is not, so nothing is happening to this. This is how this thing is coming. When I'm clicking this button, see, it is changing this one. It works like that. It is working as a button. So that is all about Animate. Actually, you have to work around those symbols only in Animate while you're doing animation, while you're doing character animation and so on. It is mandatory in Animate. You have to work around this one only. Okay. So let's go to another software, which is, I'll just close this. I'll just open another, which is Illustrator. So hope you can share, I will see my screen. So this is Illustrator. I'll just take a small one, 600 by size, 600 by 600. I'll tell you how to create this one. I clicked here in the new button. When you open this Illustrator, it will ask for new and open. I have clicked on this new button and it is taking me here directly. So this is an overview of this one, Illustrator software. Okay, so this again here it is a toolbar. This is a display screen. Here options are there, colors and all, layering structure, artboard. So once you, are using this one, Illustrator will get to know all the functionalities one by one. What is the function of this one? So as I said that this Illustrator is mainly useful to create images only. Animation we can't do in Illustrator, first of all. This is only a only for the illustration. For static images, we are using this Illustrator software, static vector images. Okay, so these are the toolbars. If you can see, 1 second, I'll just, okay. So you see these are the selection area, how you can select the objects. Maximum all the features are same. Mostly the features are same in Illustrator and Animate also. Some minor things are changed here. You see, I have taken this box. Okay, new box. Let me just zoom in. Okay, so this is a box I have taken. Here the change, I mean, how to change the color if you have created this box by selecting this one. This below box is used for this one, outer line, and the upper box is used for fill color. Here you can see stroke. Here it is written. When I'm clicking this, it is showing fill. Here it is showing stroke. If you can see, by clicking this, we can change the color of boxes also. Okay, suppose I have taken this red for this, it will automatically change the color. Suppose if you don't want this outer stroke, by selecting this, you can click this stroke option here. If you can select none. Okay, this way the stroke won't be visible over here. Suppose if you want stroke, okay, but you don't want fill color. Okay, so I'll just change the stroke to, suppose I want it as a green one, and I wanted to increase the stroke width also. So here stroke is selected. So if you can see, the stroke width is also increasing, but I don't want this fill color, let's say. So I'll just select this fill and click as none. So this way that fill color we won't be visible. If you want to make these edges rounded, select this, click this icon, make this like this. Okay, so this is how you can use the rounded corners for this one. This is one shape. Text, you can write the text over here by selecting text. Suppose I'll just type GUVI. Okay, I'll just select all the text here. I have selected the text. Now I'll just increase the font size. Here you can see this font size is written here 16 points. Now it is 16. Like this, we can increase the font size manually. You can also erase it. Type. Okay, you can change this one, or you want it italic, semi bold, something like this. So you want it bold, make it as bold. So you can change the font also from here. I can take any other font, something like this. Let's take this one. Okay, now the font is also changed. Okay. So this way you can use text also. Suppose this box is there, we're changing the color of this box. You want that box to go, I mean, behind this text. You select this text or select this one, either select one. I'm selecting this one, arrange it, right click on it. By selecting this, right click on it, arrange option is there, bring it to back. Okay, that way this will overlap this one. Okay, now in that way you can draw anything actually. Okay, so pen tool is also there. By using pen tool you can also draw any kind of shapes. Okay, so by using pen tool. So I mean, once you are using this software, you'll get to know, I mean, more and more options. You will find out more learnings in this one. Still, I have experience in this software from so long, but still I'm learning new things in this one. Still new things are coming. How when I see any new object, how these things are coming, how these things are, I'm very curious to know that how it works actually, how that person has done this one. So that thing should be there actually. Even if you are expert in Illustrator, that thing should be there inside you. That no, I have to learn this thing. I have to learn this thing. How he has done that one. So that is about this Illustrator. So let me open the next one, which is After Effect. Hope you have understood this point. After Effect, Animate, we are using it for animation. Illustrator, we are using it for static images, static vector images. So when you open your screen, and when you open your After Effect, okay, so it will open. My After Effect version is 2016. I'm using it because it is like I'm using a crack version. So it is easy for me to, I mean, import and export files in this. So that's the reason I'm using the old version. So when you open the After Effects, you'll find a window like this, composition setting. So here you can change the width, height, and all those things, frame rate also. If someone doesn't know this frame rate and all, I'll tell you what the frame rate is. The number of frames coming under 1 seconds are called frame rate. Okay, suppose here it is default selected 25 frames. That means in 1 second there will be 25 frames only. If I change it to 30, okay, so there will be 30 frames in 1 second. 30 frames in the sense there will be 30 shots. You can create 30 shots inside that 1 seconds. So let's, I'm just giving a duration. How much should be my duration? It should be like, I can give 10 seconds here. Okay, this is hours, these are minutes, these are these are this one seconds. So I'm giving this much. Okay, so till 10 seconds, the, if you can see in this timeline, 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, it is opening till 10 seconds because we have selected till 10 seconds. So basically this is a timeline where you guys are going to work. Okay, here your projects will be going to save. Here you can easily go inside the projects and all. Okay, so here in this area, effects, alignment, paragraphs, characters, these things are going to, you're going to see. Okay, so how these things are working, I'll just show you. As I said, you can't create vector images in After Effects first of all. Okay, so let's create a raster image only. Okay, so I'll just do one thing. I'll just right click on the this one timeline bar. Here this option will come. I'll just select new and shape layer. I'll just select. Okay, so with this shape layer, this will select automatically this rectangle box, but I don't want rectangle. I want this star, suppose. So I'll just create one star over here. Okay, so this is done. You see how it is easy it is. So this is basically your star layer. Okay, you can move your star from one place to another also by selecting this selection tool. If you can see on the right or left right top corner, selection tool is there. You can select this star. You can move this star from one place to another, anywhere on the screen. Okay, I'm just keeping it in the center. Okay, so now you want to, suppose, animate the stars like from one place to another, or like a simple pop-up kind of animation for the star. I will show you how to do that. For pop-up, what you need to do, you need to decrease the size also for this star and increase the size also. Okay, what you will do by selecting this star, what you will do by selecting this layer, press S, okay, which is scale, which is your scale. Okay, so before this scale, what you have to do, select this one. This is your pivot point, if you can see. Okay, this is a transparent thing. I can transparent this display also. This is a transparent one, but since my this pivot point, anchor point is not visible, so I'm removing this transparency part. So this is a default background you're using, and you can change it also. Okay, by composition you can change it here also. You can make, I mean, keep it as white also. Okay, now it is white. Okay, so what I was saying is anchor point. Okay, this anchor point you have to keep it in the center always, depending on the object. Actually, you have to keep it. So for this star, I want it in the center point, this center point. So what I'll do, I'll just select this one, anchor point one, pan behind which we also call this point. So I'm selecting this point and keeping it in a center. Okay, okay, now I'm selecting this one because I have already selected select a scale one. I'm just pressing one, this one. These are keyframes. Here it is. I told you, right, that in 1 second we kept like how many frames? We kept like 30 frames. Okay, so I'll show you where it is visible to you. See from here, 1 second. See till 1 second here. Ten frames still here, 20 frames still here, 30 frames still here. So it is 1 second. You can see here. One is there written. So till here there are like 30 frames. Okay, I can reduce the size of this. On 1 second, I'll just give the another scale. And in the middle, again, I'll give one more keyframe. Okay. In the middle or somewhere here, I'll just give one more keyframe. But here I want this circle to be, this star to be small. So I'll just keep 80%. Okay, now it will decrease. You see, this thing will animate. Okay, how to play this one? How to play this timeline? By pressing space bar. Okay, this you just want a pop-up animation now, so it is done. Okay, now we have to give a little bit smoothness to this animation. What I'll do, I'll just keep this timeline till here, so you can hit again and again to see the, you see, till here it will play. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just smoothen the animation by pressing, by selecting all the frames and pressing 9. You see these icon, these frames, means shapes has changed here. Now it will be quite smoother. You see the difference? Okay, I'll show you how you see the difference. I'll just undo it. Okay, this is one frame I've created already. Now I'll create duplicate of it. For duplicate, I'll just give the ease in, ease out. First, I'll just change the position of this star. Okay, this star. So I'll give, for this star, I'll give smooth animation. Okay, you see here, these frames are different, these frames are different. Now you see how it will play, which will be smoother. Okay, so that way I'll just close up this animation, so you will get a difference. You see which is smoother. This one is smoother, right? Because we have given that easy in, ease out to this one, slow in, slow out to this one. And this one is plain animation, this star. Okay, so this is how you do, I mean, kind of animation to this in this After Effects. And you guys, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask in chat box. No worries. Okay, so you can change the names and all to these layers also. Suppose this is your first star. You can change the name by right clicking on it. Okay. See here, rename option is there. You can rename it. Star one. We can write it as a star one. Here also, you can write it as a star two. This is how you can rename your layers and all. Suppose if you want these layers to be in, you want to animate both the layers actually together. So one shortcut method, create one null object. Okay, one null is basically like a blank blank point. Okay, with that blank point you can animate these two layers together. So what you will do, you will select both the things. Here this option is there where which you can connect with this null layer. Okay, now this null, if you want to animate, you first position is this one, second position is this one. I'll just see, I'm animating this null one only. I'm not touching these two layers because it is these two layers are connected to this null one. Now you can animate these layers. So if you want to put this layer in, suppose there will be too many layers. Okay, so it is very hard for you to, I mean, manage those layers and all. So you can do one more thing. You can select all the layers. Okay, and put it in one compose layer like star I can give. Okay, so it will be one layer at the end. Okay, so like that you can do it for multiple. So basically if you click this star one, it will take you to another one, another screen. Whatever you change inside this one, it will reflect here also. Okay, so that is called pre-composition. Okay, so if you have any if you want to render this one, like render this, suppose I want this till 20 frame, I want to render this one, this animation to this one. Okay, I will, then I'll do one thing, I'll just go to composite, add to render queue. I'll select the quality from here, whatever quality suits you. I'll just this one S2 H.264. I'll give the location from here. Okay, I'll just give this location, save the file here and press this render one. Okay, your animation is happening. You see, it's render. Okay, rendering is completed. Okay, you can play this one also. You see, this is your rendered file. I just rendered. Since it's a 20 frames, so it is less than a second. So that is the reason it is just a blink to you guys. Okay, if I increase the duration there also, then it will be easy for you to see the video. Okay, so that is all. Just from my end.